Greetings. It's time for more stories from Santa. I hope you enjoy this little glimpse into the magic of the elves. So our first book is going to be called How to Catch an Elf. The trade secret here. You just never know what happens within. How to Catch an Elf by Adams Wallace and Andy Eckerman. I'll have to add him to my list. It's Christmas Eve. Hip hip hooray. Yes, Santa's coming around. He's bringing toys to the girls and boys in every house in town. Some kids try to catch him, but Santa's fast, you see. So there set their eyes on a smaller prize, and now they're after me. Little elf, big elf, little elf. The elf stature 3000. I'm not my friend upon the shelf, who comes each year and sits. No, I've got style, and I've got grace. I'm the elf that never quits. Now Santa's ready. Time to go. I'm sure your traps are scary. I'll do my best to dodge them all and leave you feeling merry. Ho, 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 ho. In I go to Elma's house to make sure all is clear. A tinsel net. Oh, that's just fun. I won't get caught in here. Jaden's trap cannot be missed. I think it's double-sided. Double-sided tape. That's clever. He's got his spot on my naughty list. You bet that's been decided. Another house filled with treats. The kids are getting smarter. I can't resist the candy canes. My job is getting harder. Santa slowly lowers me into a dangerous room. And if I touch down, he won't just frown. There'll be a bombard bomb. Boom. There will be a bonbon boom. Your Christmas maze is all laid out. My work's no longer cushy. I safely brought you all your gifts. But hey, you zapped my tushy. And now my radar's perking up. This next one's quite a chore. We don't yet know what lies ahead in this family grocery store. Guy's up here, he's on the lookout. We run inside and get caught up in an avalanche of food. We've seen all kinds of traps before, but not to this magnitude. The dinner cannon burps and spits and shoots out ham and gravy. And then it follows with dessert. Please, Santa, will you save me? Looks like Santa's on the roll too. This must be eggnog. We tumble down the waterfall above the Eggnog River. But Santa and I are awesome team. Pizza and eggnog and cookies. Oh my. Together we deliver pepperoni and mushroom pizza. Doesn't that sound good? And now it's time to leave us. Our night is nearly done. You tried your best this Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas to everyone. Well, that's precious. How to catch an elf. What's next? Should we try this one? Bear stays up for Christmas. Join Bear and his friends for the holidays. By Carmel Wilson and Jane Chapman. The day before Christmas. The day before Christmas. Snuggled on his floor. Bear sleeps soundly with a great big snore. Dear Bear, get up. Mouse shouts in his ear. There's a mouse here talking in Bear's ear. We won't let you sleep through Christmas this year. His friends are all there, gathered in his hair. There's a bird. And a raccoon. And a rabbit. And a groundhog, maybe. He stands with a stretch and a great big sigh. I hope I can make it. I do want to try. Don't worry, squeaks the mouse. Har says it's all right. We'll keep you busy all day and all night. He tries to lie down, but his friends all frown. So the bear stays up. Come on, says the badger. Time to follow me. In the pine grove glen, there's a fine Christmas tree. So they stomp through the woods and they romp down the track. They hoist up the tree onto the bear's big back. Well, now you know what they wanted the bear for, to haul the Christmas tree. He plods very slowly as they trudge through the snow, but the bear stays up, carrying the Christmas tree and the winter glow. Back at the cave, the gopher brews mid-tea. The mole pops corn to string up the tree. Raven and wren bake a fresh fruit cake. The friends do their best to keep bear awake. His shoulders start to stoop, and his eyelids droop. But the bear stays up. You can see they're all there. Poor bear wants to sleep. They hang up their stockings by the warm firelight and hum Christmas songs like "O Holy Night." They cuddle and sing as they wait for the sun. But soon all the voices fade to just one. A bright star glows while his good friends douse. But the bear stays up with a pleasant brow. Bear giggles and grins, he works and he raps. He bustles and bakes while everyone naps. He piles up presents under the tree. But who's at the doorway? The bear doesn't see. He toils all night under the sun rises, making his friends and the Christmas surprises. Just before dawn, he let out a yawn, but he still stays up to the dawn. When Christmas arrives, so lovely and white, Bear's friends awake to a glorious sight. Presents and goodies are piled up tall. I stay up, says Bear, just to share with you all. As his friends shout with glee, Bear lies by the tree, but he still stays up. The wren flies to the stockings and tweets out a cheer. Besides our friends' presents, Santa was here. When all the gifts are opened, there's one last surprise. Badger shows Bear a quilt, just his size. Oh, that's nice. It's very nice. Bear snuggles up tight and mutters good night. Then Bear falls asleep. His friends tidy up and slip from the lair. They whisper sweet dreams. Merry Christmas, dear Bear. Isn't that a nice book? Wow. Yeah, well, bad. Mr. Wilby's Christmas Tree. By Robert Barry. For Papa. Mr. Wilby's Christmas tree came by special delivery. Full and fresh and glittering green, the biggest tree he has ever seen. He dashed downstairs to open the door. This was the moment he'd waited for. A magnificent tree, splendid indeed, as he cried, "Please, sir, won't you carry it right inside?" I think it might look best this year, right in the parlor corner here. But once the tree stood in place, Mr. Willoughby made a terrible face. The tree touched the ceiling and then bent like a bow. Oh, good heavens, he gasped. Something must go. Baxter the butler was called in onto the haste to chop off the top, though it seemed quite a waste. That's great, Mr. Willoughby cried with glee. Now we can start to trim my tree. When the trimming was well hung underway, the top was placed on a silver tray. I know just who'd be delighted with the Christmas tree. So it was presented to Miss Adelaide. Adele. Mr. Willoughby's upstairs maid. Won't this tree be pretty sight? But the top, oh dear, I'm so afraid. Will I have to cut? Sighed Miss Adele. So with the scissors, sharp and long, she snipped off the top while she hummed a nice song. The top was set out the very next day in the back of the house to be thrown away. That little treetop caught the eye of Tim the gardener passing by. He certainly was not about to see that little tree thrown away. He hurried home to see what Mrs. Trim would say. Fa la la, surprise, surprise. His wife could not believe her eyes. But our house, she said, is so snug and small, I do not believe we need it at all. And before Tim had a chance to shout, she cut off the top and threw it out. Barnaby the bear was padding by. It almost hit him in the eye. Now, who would throw a tree away so very close to Christmas Day? I'll take it home. That's what I'll do. Look, Mama Bear, I have a present for you. Isn't it pretty, tree? yawned Barnaby, quite drowsily. But the little bear, standing off far, cried out, that tree won't hold a star. Barnaby said, I'll cut a hunk off of the bottom here at the trunk. But Mama Bear just shook her head and sliced the treetop off instead. Do we see a pattern here? Jolly by golly, Barnaby said, with a kick. Mama, that surely is just the right trick. Let's trim it with bells and honey rings, some berries and tinsel, and popcorn and string. Mama said, trim it just as you like. I've got to tidy up for the night. This top we won't need anymore. I'll put it just outside the door. Later that on a frosty night, Frisky Fox came into sight. He spied the treetop, rubbed his chin, opened his sack, and stuffed the top tin. He scampered home and jumped his gate. The Christmas present couldn't wait. It's even better than a mince pie, said Mrs. Fox with a happy sigh. Then the foxes saw that the Christmas prize was just a little bit oversized. There, my dears, don't you worry. I'll fix this top now in a hurry. Benjamin Rabbit found it then just outside the fox's den. It seems, he thought, most certainly Santa left it for my family. Look, he cried, see the tree I found. With that he called his family round. Then there was merry making, roll kicking and frolicking and carrot shaking celebration around the tree. All were happy as rabbits can be. Benjamin Rabbit, with his own hand, sliced a carrot and made it stand. Now that's how it looks in our chimney nook. But right away the chimneys cried, look, it's leaning off to one side. It's too tall, that's all, said Mr. Rabbit. And as thought it were a summer carrot, she gave it a chop and threw it away. The top. Then Mistletoe Mouse just happened to see that the tiny tip of the Christmas tree. He pulled it through the snow and ice, up the stairs, and fell down twice. At last he reached his cozy house. It's just the right size, Mrs. Mouse. And then atop, if you please, they'll put a star made out of cheese. Oh, wasn't it grand to have a tree exactly like Mr. Willoughby? Everybody shares from the same thing. That's a pretty cool book. Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree. A Christmas Gift for Santa. A Christmas Book for Santa, written by J. Theron Elkins. In the cold North Pole after Christmas night, a worldwide trip on reindeer flight. Sat tired Santa Claus in his brown leather chair in his old cottage house in his red underwear. Just back from his travels, where he left handmade toys to be opened by all the good girls and boys. Would you get a present? Would he get the present? Santa quietly thought. Did no one remember? Was he simply forgot? Surely not, Santa said. There's a present for me. I will search round this house to find where it might be. By the fire was his hat. On the ledge was his suit. Near the couche was his pair of old buckled boots. But no present was there. There was no stocking stuffed with candies or goodies or peppermint fluff. Of course, he's been eating at everybody's homes the past night. Macaroni and cheese, carrot cake, macaroons, root beer, eggnog. His helpers were huddled on the couch where they dozed, in polka dot jammies and jingle bell toes. But no present was there. There was no paper bag stuffed with color tissue and ribbon zigzags. His reindeer were snuggled at the base of the tree, snoring carols of Christmas, as content as can be. But no present was there. There was no box or bow with bright shiny paper from twinkle light glow. Then at last by the bed, near the light, was a note. In the note were the words, "That's Christmas," Mrs. Claus wrote. "Merry Christmas, my dear. I am so proud of you. I love you so much and adore what you do." That's nice. Reading this note, he just smiled with a heart full of bliss. Then he raised mistletoe and gave her a kiss. "My love, here's your present, thoughtful Mrs. Claus. It was made from my heart and was made for your head." Santa's face looked excited as he tore off the wrap and discovered his present was a knitted nightcap. "Oh, thank you," said Santa. "I was not forgot. This nightcap is jolly and a wonderful thought." Nice, huh? After saying his thanks, Santa said a short prayer. Then he slid into bed and reached for his bear. I have a bear too. Pooh Bear. As his eyes slowly closed, once he turned off the light, Santa whispered at last, "Merry Christmas and sleep tight." That's nice. That's a nice book. A Christmas gift for Santa. Mrs. Willoughby's Christmas tree. Bear stays up for Christmas. And how to catch an elf. Merry Christmas to all. And a happy new year. Peace for enough. And peace for all.
So these are the Christmas lights. And they change color. It's snowing out. I don't think you can see the snow. Yeah. And there you have it. Merry Christmas. It's a Christmas tree. Mimi. That's some decorations. Our stockings. Santa pictures.
The night before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hope that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds. Yes, you're saying I forgot a line, aren't you? Yep. While visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama, in her kerchief. Now, does this look like a kerchief to you? It looks like a bonnet. A bonnet, not a kerchief. And I, in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn, there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. Generally speaking, the shutters are on the outside, but hey, I didn't write the story. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster. It could have been a huster, but I think it was a luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. Now, if you believe in fairies, which I hope you all do, a miniature sleigh with 8 tiny reindeer are small, which means they can fit down just about any chimney that they want. If there's a miniature sleigh with 8 tiny reindeer, that means that Santa Claus is about this tall. Now look at your screens right now and compare how big I am. I'm really not as big as it looks. I might be living in a miniature Santa's nook. With a little old driver. See, it even tells you in the book. It's a little old driver. Little. So lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. Now think about this. See the picture. See me. Picture. Me. Picture. Me. Guess that cat in the background turned into a reindeer at Christmas. A little girl talked to me today, and she asked me, is it true that the reindeer only fly because they have Christmas bell collars on? Now, I had to answer that question with utmost honesty. And I told her that I've never seen Rudolph without his collar with jingle bells on. He never takes it off. Could be because he doesn't have plausible thumbs, maybe, but I have never seen him take it off, so I don't know if he could fly without his jingle bell collar on. I don't know. So I had to question, I answered this little girl's question with total honesty. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called to them by name. Now, do I have to repeat this? Do you not know all the rainbow's names? Rainbows? Reindeer's names? I think you do. But just in case there's one of you, that one you over there on the left side, sitting there with a beer can in your hand, you've probably forgotten something. So, now dancer, now dancer, now dasher, now dasher, now dancer. Now prancing, now vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop, the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and to St. Nicholas too. Yep. And then, in a twinkle, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. Little hoofs, again, a clarification by a document. A document. This is a document. This isn't just a fairy tale. This is a document. That they're little reindeer. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. And let me tell you, if I was going down the chimney, I would go down with a bound. Kind of like when I used to go on those sleds, those tubes, when you go down the mountaintop and the snow tube. Bound. You know those things they have at the end of the railroad, the runway to stop a plane that's flying too far? That's what they need for me. And I took well use of those. He was dressed all in fur, from his head to his toe, and his clothes were tarnished with ashes and soot. Wow. I don't think so. But you wouldn't need to get your chimney cleaned out, getting stuff down your chimney, would you? Because I would just take care of that and clean out all the creosote. A bundle of toys he flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his sack. His eyes, how they twinkled.
See my twinkling eyes and my dimples? No, I have not had a rum and eggnog, although I was thinking about it. His dimples, how merry! His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. Well, a pretty big cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow. And his beard of his chin was as white as the snow. Well, actually, it was pretty white. The stump of his pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. Well, I'm going to keep the pipe away at the moment because I need to finish this story. And smoking my pipe of you know what would certainly not make me finish this story. He had a broad face and a little round belly. Well, let me tell you, it's not little belly. If it's a little belly, he ain't Santa. That shook when he laughed like a bowl full of, well, it says jelly, but I'm thinking marshmallows. Definitely marshmallows. Maybe some macaroni and cheese. Definitely not Jello. But maybe Jello. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf. And I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. Yep, because a stranger in your house, middle of the night, is not a positive thing. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying a finger on the side of his nose, because he can't do this like Samantha does. and giving a nod up the chimney, he rose. He sprang to his sleigh to give his team a whistle, and away they all flew like the dawn of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Yep. And whether you believe in Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, or anything else, peace with enough for all is all we wish for. Peace with enough for all.